Okay, so in the last video, I was talking about introduced Wadsworth, which is the electron-based file browser that I'm building, and I promised that I would show the prompts that I used to build Wadsworth. So I used Claude Desktop, and I'm using the model it's using is Opus 4.7 Extra High. Since I was writing code, I wanted it to do a good job. I left it on extra high. Uh, I could have lowered it down to high or medium maybe, but I don't know. I left it on extra high. That was the default. So anyways, this is the desktop version. Okay, so you download this to your desktop. It's not running, not running in a browser in the cloud. Okay. So the first prompt, I said, I want to build an Electron app that is a simple file browser. Think Finder for the Mac, but just bare bones. All right. And then it asked me, well, where do you want to put it? Where should it be on the file system? And what, what I wanted to use in terms of the rest of the stack. Besides, I told it Electron, but besides just Electron, what was the full stack I wanted to use? And so I told it where to put the file under tilde/dev. And then I asked it for a name. We need a good name for it. It's going to be a life manager that does a lot of other stuff besides file browsing. Uh, but let's think of a good name so I can create the folder. See, I haven't even created the folder yet, right? And so it came up with some names. And then I said, let's think along one of these was a butler or something, one who manages your household affairs. So I think it was like, I was thinking steward, and steward made me think of butlers. And so I said, let's think along the lines of a name of a famous butler or estate manager. For example, Alfred from Batman could be good, or Benson might be another good one. And so it answered da 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 da, and came up with Wadsworth, which is the butler from Clue, and I kind of like that because that was the name of my college dormitory, and so I said, all right, fine, let's just go with Wadsworth. It's just a temporary name. I don't know if this is going to be the final name of the project or not, but let's go with that. Okay, and so it did stuff, and then it uh, came up with the first version. I think the first version was pretty decent. I mean, it had the window and the folders, the list of folders. It wasn't a tree view yet. It was just like a flat file folder that you could click into each one. I don't remember all of it now, but this first version was fairly capable. I mean, it wasn't just like nothing. It was okay. So I came back and I said, okay, that's a decent start. I have a lot of dot files on my computer that clogs up the listing. Let's add an option at the top to show dot files. Sometimes I don't need to see them, but other times I do. This is one thing Finder isn't very good at, so we're already better than Finder. So it went off and added that checkbox at the top, right? See here, this checkbox that says show hidden. And so that will allow me to see show hidden files. In this case, I only have one of them. Okay. So that's how I got that checkbox there in the header bar. And so we kept going. I said, if I double click on a PDF file, I want it to render the PDF inside of Wadsworth. So I started off with the preview concept, but only previews for PDF files. I didn't say do a preview for everything, but only PDF files. Okay, so there's that prompt. And then by that point, I had the splitter, the two panes. It's still buggy. He's got to go back and fix some bugs, but and then so after I had that, so now I had the kind of the basic application. I didn't have the sidebar yet. Okay, I just had a browser. Just had this part of it yet. No side here. I can hide the sidebar. So at this point, it just kind of looked like this. We didn't have the sidebar yet. Okay, and at first I just had the flat view like this, and then I asked it to, at some point I asked it to add the tree view. We'll probably show that coming up. All right. So then I said the app should remember its size and position when I close, because that drives me crazy when applications don't do that. So I got that in there. And then I said the preview pane. Okay, this is where I said I want the splitter on the preview pane to be able to be dragged and dropped to resize it. And then to remember that when I restart the application. And so that's when it created this draggable divider. Right, so when I preview something, it shows a splitter, and then with the preview on the right hand side, and I can grab the splitter with the mouse and move it back and forth. It's buggy though, so that's the thing. We got to go back and fix that. So that's how I got that. And then I said if the preview pane is, so we just did a little tweaking where I said, well, if the preview pane is already open, I shouldn't have to double click. I should just single click. I can still double click if I want to, but double click will open the preview pane if it's not already open. But once it is open, then I should just be able to click. Okay. Just a single click on a file and it should show it in the preview pane. Okay. So then I said, now let's extend the preview concept to text files. So then I started telling it to do text files. And so it can preview things just besides PDF. And so that would give just a text listing in the right-hand pane, more primitive than what we have now. And I said, extend the preview concept to graphics like PNG and GIFs. So now I can preview. If I see something in the file system, I can click on it and double click on it and open the preview in the right-hand pane. All right. When I'm browsing a file, I want to choose between flattened and tree view. Okay, so that's how we got this thing up here. I can go back and forth between flat and tree view. What else should I say? I wanted to drill in. When I double click on a folder, it should drill into it. Okay, so if I'm here and I double click on auto, notice how up here the current folder is users Dropbox here. Now if I double click on this, it's going to drill in, and now it's changed the folder up here to auto. See, so now I'm on auto, and now I can go back or up. Up takes me back. So that's kind of what I was getting here. When I double click on a folder or drill into it, a single click just stays within the current folder, and I need a way to collapse and expand each folder. So that gave me, this is pretty typical, right? Where you get these little chevrons out in front, and that allows you to expand and collapse. Okay, so that's how they got that. For the files we don't preview ourselves, as we did above, we should check the operating system to see if it has a registered previewer and use that. You know how like Windows has registered applications, so that when you click on a certain file of a certain extension, it'll automatically open that up. So I wanted that. And I asked if there was any way to preview Office files inside there, I mean, it's an open file format, I guess, but anyways, so Mac has a thing called Quick Look, which is kind of this preview thing that we're doing for any application that writes and registers themselves as a Quick Look provider. It can, as Microsoft Office does, then you can, view the file right inside the Finder, or right inside our tool. We wanted to do the same thing, and it did an okay job of that, but not great. We'll come back to that. And then I said the app should remember what folder I'm in when I exit. Okay, and it should save the whole state of the folder view. So anyways, it just went on and on like this. where, I just kept asking it to do stuff. So the point, I don't really have to go through every single one of these, but you see I'm just speaking in English. I'm not even using an IDE. Like the only thing I use an IDE for is to just look at the files. Like, I think I might have had VS Code open or something to allow me to view the files. But it's, I'm not using an IDE. I'm just using this Claude Code or Claude Desktop. It has these three modes: chat, co-work, and then code. So I don't know what to call that. I mean, it's the code tab of Claude Desktop. It's still right to call it Claude Code. I don't know. Um, this is an Electron app too, by the way. So we're writing an Electron with an Electron app. So I figured if Electron was good enough for this, it's good enough for what I want to do. That's what I was thinking. And what was the last thing? Then we talked about deploying it. At some point, we talked about deploying it to GitHub and all of that. See, then I asked it to get these native, uh, no, 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 how to build it, how to deploy it, how somebody can download it. Here, can we make custom icons for as many popular file extensions as possible? MS Office files, programming languages. I already showed that C# icon. And so it said the best path here is iconify with the VS Code icons collection. It has approximately 700 file types. So it went and got all of those, I guess. And so that's how we get, when let's go to projects, parade suite there. So that's how we get like the C# icon. All these icons here are coming from this because it went and downloaded this VS Code icons collection and built that in. Stuff takes a long time to figure out. Like AI is good for that. Helps you figure out things faster. And then, so after I did that, I noticed that it went back to this ugly yellow icon for the folders, and I didn't like that. I like these blue icons better. I said just go back to that. And that kind of is where we're at. I asked it some other things about deploying to GitHub and how to build the release and things like that. So, I mean, the point is that it's all vibe coded and I'm not using an IDE at all. I'm not even looking at the files, the source code files. I'm running it and I'm playing with it and trying it out. And if I see a bug, I tell Claude about it. But I'm not even looking at the source code or running the IDE. I'm just trusting Claude Code to write it. And so this is what it's come up with so far with those English prompts. Kind of cool. All right. That's it for this video. Thanks for listening.